Gary Lyon and welcome to Access All Areas. Some big winners this weekend, Damien Barrett, and there were also some telling losers.
There were, guys. Geelong was one of those telling losers, and I want to get to them in a moment. But let's start with Carlton, who have now racked up losses against teams as the ladder is currently placed, 14th, 15th, 16th, 17th, and that loss on the weekend to GWS, that was their worst for the year.
Look, I agree, but I also think we might be selling the GWS boys a bit short as well. They were so bad about a month ago. They need full credit for being able to regather themselves and put up more than competitive performances now. These are the sorts of performances that we thought they were capable of. I'm not sure it mitigates totally Carlton, but I think this side's playing 50% better than they were a month ago.
They've turned around, haven't they, with their competitive ball. And the fact that they've got these big guys, I mean, Boyd coming in, didn't get a lot of it, but did some nice stuff on the weekend.
Look, these boys are only going to get better. We know that big key forwards take some time to actually find them their spot in the competition. But look at that. That's Patton, who's about a year ahead of Boyd.
Yep.
And he is going to... Sometimes you look at it and you go, hurry up, we want to see more development, we see what Cameron's capable of. But these big, heavier guys take a little bit more time. And look at that, he is a power outfit, Jono Patton, and it's so exciting. Got some smarts too. Tommy Boyd kicked his first goal. Have a look how he does it. That just takes some skill, some presence and some knowledge. So, no, they were fantastic. Carlton were ordinary and there's something to look forward to.
Because the
Patton... Just on this one, that's the Boyd handball into space. Simple stuff, Damo, under pressure, which we'll see more of as time goes on.
You felt for a long time that Patton, Boyd and Cameron can't stay at that football club long term. Does anything you see this year change your mind on that?
Well, yes, because... You can deploy, I suppose, Cameron as a third floating tall. Now, I always made that assumption on the basis he wanted him as one of the keys. But, gee, you'd be pretty comfortable, I think, in time with both the two and the key post and him floating around. Heath Shaw's been pretty good all year. Had a bit of a soft patch. Last week, guys, rang some pizzas at a hotel after a win, and then this is what he tweeted out on the weekend. I think it's one of the tweets of the year from a footballer. Well, of course, got into trouble last week for ordering pizzas from his room. Not sure if it was Heath at 3 o'clock in the morning, and there was some issues with the way they did it. But I like this. Great win by the boys. I think it's time to make them rather than order them at 7 o'clock for dinner. So
good use of Twitter, guess.
Well, if you like Twitter. You talk about GWS, the Suns. I think this is their best win of their whole existence against a quality opposition who jumped them early. Yeah, I do. And the fact was they were challenged and they were able to find a way to hang in and then run over the top of a side that I've got such great respect for. And they tick all the boxes, Damo. It's hard to...
Tick all the boxes in what perspective? Are you talking finals? Are you talking even pushing into a second week of finals?
I think they're going to play finals now. I think their run home and their form suggests they'll play finals. Whether how far they can go, I'm not exactly sure. But
if there's a weakness, where is it?
Well, I thought coming into the season, I didn't have them as a top 8 side. I thought that was going to be another 12 months away. My worry and concern was the defensive posts. In particular, Thompson could cover one, but May has been the revelation. So you can... Look, we knew that Bennell, and we'll have a look at him, Matera were going to be great. We knew Grunt in the middle with Prestia and Swallow. We knew that the tall forwards were always going to be good. Lynch and Day and Charlie Dixon. That was my concern, but he's ticked that box, so look out.
And look, someone who just turned it on the weekend, Harley Bennell, 6 goals.
I think it's Bennell, is it?
Is it Bennell, is it? Yeah, well, Look, he's been good for a long time, but he has stood up this year in a very big way. He's in the elite now, Gaz.
Well, he's elite, there's no doubt. When he plays, he's elite. He's had some injury troubles, had some homesickness issues too early in the piece. Wanted to head back, missed a couple of training sessions, got disciplined. I think Mitch Duncan's going to enjoy the review tape. One of my favourites, Mitchy Duncan. But in future, what's going to happen now for Harley, and this is the test of a true elite player, is that he's going to get some serious attention turned to him from opposition clubs.
I would argue he's had some serious attention.
Do you think?
I mean, Geelong
doesn't...
Well, you just mentioned Duncan. He's your love child, and he turned one around at
Well, I reckon if they play next week, Mitch Duncan will never, ever let Harley Bennell get goal side of him at a stoppage, which he let him do twice. So that's the sort of stuff that's going to come. I think he's good enough to deal with it, by the way. You reckon they're gone?
The Cats, well, 9 and 4. The 4 losses, guys, the best of those 4 losses by way of margin is 32 points. That was against Fremantle, but they've had 2 40-point losses and they've had the 110-point loss to Sydney Swans. That's not a team that's going to win a premiership, guys.
No, I wonder whether some of those elite midfielders are just maybe struggling with injury a bit, or maybe Niggles, Johnson I'm talking about, didn't look like the player, missed last week. Even Joel Selwood, although got back to finding plenty of footy, just doesn't look the same.
Put it on the line. Can they win the premiership?
I'm not writing them off.
I am.
All right, well, let's revisit that. Hey, I want to put this on the agenda. Players who lead with their head, we were told constantly that they're not going to be rewarded. Now, I'm going to give Mark LeCras a tiny little out because he was getting tackled, only a tiny one. Lenny Hayes thinking, what the hell do I do? These next two, Hutchins this is, just charges into the St Kilda play with his head, Webster. He charges in, Webster's standing there. That's the second worst. Then the worst...
That goes against what we were told on the DVD at the start of the year.
This is the frustration, and look at this. I'd report him. I'd report Scott Thompson.
Let's not go overboard on it.
Okay, all right, maybe overboard.
But it's not a free kick on what we're told at the start of the year, is it?
He sees a player coming at him and just goes even lower. Now, okay, well, I'm not going to report him, but in the Tribunal of Common Sense, which we introduced a couple of years ago, a couple of weeks ago, $5 grand fine for Scott Thompson. Don't do it.
No, I agree.
No, it's dangerous to him and the player who's doing it.
But police it the way it's meant to be policed. That's the issue.
Don't reward it, Damo. Your mates, the umpires, rewarded it.
What about your mate Nathan Buckley having a crack at Jared Witts on the weekend, Gaz? Very public on what it was.
Well, it was.
We'll just get back to that in a moment. But
well, see, that's how keen you are to go to the goal umpire review. You wanted to skip over one of the big moments of the weekend. Hold your fire, Damo. We'll get to the goal review. Witsy's copping it. I mean, we've seen this all weekend. Buck's frustration spilling over there. He got the wrong man. He should have gone... certainly, he's saying to Witts that shouldn't have gone over the back.
So the spray came just after this.
Well, I think... it did.
And what are you highlighting
here? Witsy, he would be saying, don't let the ball over the back. But Luke Bruce there, Clinton Young was his opponent. Clinton Young left. Look, he leaves Bruce to go second man up. If you're going to do that, Clinton Young, knock it into the third stand.
The public display of...
You'll be the next bloke to get a Bucks pulling.
Buckley on Witts. That public component.
Yeah, look... Personally, I didn't like it all that much. I don't think it's a hanging offence, but I didn't like it. I thought it said more about Nathan Buckley's state of mind than Jared Witts.
Yeah. One of the big men Witts at that footy club, Brodie Grundy, was dropped surprisingly to some. Ben Hudson have had, as we know now, on their list as a backup. Arm injury, Gaz, very unlikely to be a factor at all for the remainder of 2014, and as such won't play another game of footy if that's the case.
Good career. Good career over. Now, let's get to it. This has been your hobby horse for as long as I've known you. I've been hesitant to jump on board. I'm climbing on now.
Why is that?
Well, these incidents are embarrassing for the competition. I'm embarrassed to be a part of it when we can't get these things right.
Well, highlighting this, just the exclusive footage of Access All Areas, Gaz, just pointing out that the players did point out that this had to be looked at by way of
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They're all pointing at the goalpost, saying it hit the goalpost. Now, you talked me through, I know you've been in here since 4:30 this morning. Talk me through what happened with the umpire communication.
Well, let's go back to the night itself. The umpire in question had this to say on that goal.
Score review, please check that last one. If it hit the post, please. They check everyone. I'll check it.
So I'll make it very clear that they check it.
Did they check it?
No, they didn't check it. They can say they checked it, but they didn't. There's degrees of checking it, Gaz. And we saw, and we'll get to it in a moment, the degrees of checking it was so much greater the very next day. But look, this first shot's the one where you can tell the ball hit the post. Yep. This is the only one you need. If you're going to review it, that hit the post.
Hit the post, yep.
There was enough for that goal to be changed. It got back to the centre very quickly, Gaz, and it was moved on. But I agree with you, Gaz. And as you know, I've been on this. The credibility of your scoring, that is central to you, to what you stand for as a competition. And the credibility of AFL scoring, it's not up to scratch. In fact, it's amateurish.
Well, and again, it happened at the MCG with...
Jack Ziebell.
Jack Ziebell shot after the goal. Now, the thing about this, Damo, is... Now, I know this is dramatic. I've got a friend who works over in the NFL in America. He rang me about this and he said, this is just embarrassing for your competition and your code. And, OK, you might say, big deal. Well, this is the...
this was awarded a goal. The goal umpire said, I'm very confident it's a goal, but I want to check if it hit the post. Now, that goal ended up being overturned on the back of...
Or did he say, I'm very confident...
He said, I'm very confident...
Hit the post.
I'm very confident it's a goal. I'm very confident it's a goal. I wanted it to water a goal. He's very confident it was a goal, and that was overturned. Guys, we are having a situation where the adjudication on these things are changing within a round.
Yes, that's
like Saturday night, it wasn't checked properly. Sunday, that took 1 minute and 15, by the way, for it to be overturned. I mean, I keep going back. If that happens in a grand final and it changes the result, what are we going to do? And that's the only way we can look at this.
There's been enough warnings fired across the bow now. Time for something to be done definitively. I know they're trying to work at it, but get it done now before that. That was a 40-point game, so no one... Yeah, we'll deal with it today and people move on. If it was a 3-point game...
In a prelim and final.
In a prelim, for goodness sake.
Hey, David Swallow, he's very versatile, Gaz. He's so versatile he can actually play the role that you don't rate, the ruckman.
Well, look at this. I mean, he got caught out, so he said, I'll go up the ruck.
And then
not only did he go up in the ruck, he then got the clearance and kicked it deep inside 50.
Does it reinforce your point that you don't rate the big man?
Well, no, because it's a one-off. But it does, I mean, that's the sort of stuff that you are capable of doing. Hayden Ballantyne almost created history. He cleaned up umpires and players last week, cleaned up his own captain this week. Have a look at this. Gets the snoz of the big Pav. Pav lost 19 litres of blood out of that nose inside 10 seconds. That's how big a snout he's got. And he had to go off the ground. Well, last week, what's this handballing to blokes that don't watch, that aren't looking, Damo?
Blokes that aren't going to get it anyway. We're talking about Mike Pike here, who has his back on the... I don't know why Adam Goodes would do that. He's handballed to Mike Pike, who then doesn't know what's going on.
You know he's...
Look at this. He goes the wrong way too.
You know he wasn't brought up with a game, Mike Pike, because any player worth his salt has an open goal would be on red alert for the handball over the top to run into the open goal.
Tell me, was that worse than what we're about to see? Robbie Nahas attempting to kick to Ben Brown 20 metres from goal on a set shot.
This is a horrible result for the good blokes in the competition. He wanted to give young Ben Brown, he wanted to gift him his first goal.
No, guess.
He was about 5 metres away from being every, probably, woman supporter in the competition's favourite all-time player.
He stuffed it up. You have a shot at goal.
Stuffed it up monumentally.
Aaron Blackgas, he's a very skilled player, but Damo, he wasn't on this occasion yesterday.
This is how you handball, Damo. That's how you used to do it.
I would actually have made contact.
No, you wouldn't. This is a Damien Barrett special. Down it goes. So, Damo, very nice work by you. We're going to go upstairs. You're heading straight up now to try and get this goal umpire stuff sorted out.
For the 10th week in a row.
For the 10th week in a row. Change your shirt. You shouldn't come in
says you
pyjama top, Damo.
The denim
That's
number.
not what we want.
Have a look at that.
Get your act together.
Do some buttons up.
Coming back to AFL.com.au because we've got all your news and quality video content covered. We'll see you next Monday for Access All Areas. Fix that, Warrior. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.